getting back to Jack Posobiec at one of the 50,000, it seems, TPUSA conferences in Vegas. Here he is, dressed to the nines. Incidentally, according to Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec was the one that he hired to go and comb through my Twitter.
Interesting.
Back in 2017, when they found that satirical comment I made about people who were supporting
Polanski.
Roman Polanski's attempt to get a Lifetime Achievement Award. And so I should just say that is, full disclosure. I don't want to be considered, people think I didn't fully disclose that. Here he is on stage. No word as to whether his wife is, I assume he's still married to her, even though he was on Bumble.
The Bumble.
Somebody
pregnant?
hacked his Bumble account. Wasn't the FBI?
Somebody decided to hoax a Bumble account for him while his wife was.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So odd.
Anyways,
the deep state works in mysterious ways. Anyway, he's former naval intelligence.
There you go. And so here he is on stage, trying to buck up I don't know who's supposed to be at this conference, but he's trying to buck him up.
On this movement, the millions watching back TV, when we do the podcast, when we do War Room, when we do human events, right? That's who we got. And so that's who we have to go to war with. And so when it comes to winning these elections, we have to understand the new game. And when I talk about Taylor Swift, I say it's so obvious to me. She's the perfect vehicle to go to those low propensity white liberal women to say, I need you to come out. I need you to come out for what? What'll be the issue? It'll be abortion, right? Abortion will be the issue. You need to come out. You need to get out on here. And we can all see it. I'm sorry? I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But unfortunately, I have to live in the world of what's, what potential threats could be out there. And the indicators and warnings right now are going off the charts. That of course, she, came out as a Democrat in 2020. She attacked Marsha Blackburn in 2018. She's driven out voters using her social media presence in the past. And so it really seems like all the indicators going. And then, of course, take my word for it, the New York Times has already said that the Biden administration is working on what they call the Taylor strategy. So again, it's not about her as a person, it's about the machine that's around her and how they can use the power of her celebrity.
So incidentally, he wants to make it clear it's not about her as a person, because he can hear the people in the audience go like, wait, why are you making fun of Taylor? He is saying that she is so dumb that she's getting played by the forces, the secret forces.
It's super weird because she's basically a billionaire and is like super central to her increased visibility. She announced an album last night at the Grammys. This is part of why you're seeing her everywhere. It's because she's good at this.
She's the Manchurian singer.
Well, it could just
the
be
indicators.
It could be to promote her album, or it could be to hypnotize all these white girls who liked her,
backwards,
and who we thought were on our side at this all the time, but they aren't actually on our side at this point.
That he cites about the indicators that are showing that she's turning this away with 2018 saying something against Marsha Blackburn, who, by the way, won
handily, won by 15 points.
But that was a test run. Now they've perfected it, and Biden is going to be crowned king of the planet at the Super Bowl. That's going to be the real Super Bowl.
What this is Biden is extremely weak, and yet the Republicans might lose because of things like abortion, things like that, and they want an excuse for if that happens.
And they're terrified at those numbers that you showed the other day, which is just this huge gap in suburban women, and who is
just women in general,
and women in general. But they're most worried about states where the flip is going to be suburban, I think, white women, moms, that kind of thing, that find Trump distasteful. That's part of why he lost in 2020. So with that gap staying the same and their vision of Taylor Swift getting crushed, this is their existential dread about
now,
that.
If you are a conservative listening, and I don't want you to freak out, those of you on Rumble or whatnot, I don't want you to freak out because you don't need to get too distraught yet. Because Posobiec, just go back a little bit, Bradley, because Posobiec is going to tell you how they're going to neutralize the so-called Taylor strategy.
Oh, good.
That the Biden administration has. Go ahead.
Take my word for it, the New York Times has already said that the Biden administration is working on what they call the Taylor strategy. So again, it's not about her as a person, it's about the machine that's around her and how they can use the power of her celebrity. And people have said, well, wait a minute, Jack, celebrities have always gotten into politics and it doesn't really matter. Yes, it matters now because they changed the system of voting. Right, because they change it to ballots, because they change it to, and by the way, we can
pause it for 1 second. I just want to say that, like, the system of voting being changed to ballots, that's been around for quite some time. Is he talking about, like, was there a time where you just put like chits in,
like raised your hand?
He wants caucus systems for the presidential.
Or is he talking
election.
about like there's some electronic balloting thing that is new? Or
I think he's shorthanding for mail-in ballots. We expanded that.
Oh, right. I see. Where they actually, they have mail-in ballots. Well, of course, mail-in ballots have been around for a long, long time.
Right. That's how my parents have always voted.
But it's much bigger now with Swifties. All right, just go back a little bit because he's gonna tell us why it's different.
Now, because they changed the system of voting, right? Because they changed it to ballots, because they changed it to, and by the way, we can do this as well. We don't have a Taylor Swift on our side, but you know who we have? We have Kid Rock, we have Ted Nugent, we have influencers, right? We have all these people, John Voight, we have people that can come out and use their audiences, number one.
Pause it for 1 second.
And
if someone can bring me the person who is decided to vote where they otherwise would not have voted, or have changed their mind about voting, or changed their mind as to who they're going to vote, or in any way outside of maybe a reverse mortgage, tell me that they have been influenced by John Voight.
Swung by Voight.
I'm a John Voight voter.
So there's been polling.
I'm a Voighty.
Voight or bust. There's been polling that shows, and it's just a poll question, but that something like a fifth of voters would consider Taylor Swift's endorsement in the voting booth. Now, that same poll showed that a close percentage would be negatively polarized given who Taylor Swift would vote for. So I think she's already been sort of like coded in the culture war, and that's why like people are responding to things like that. But that's I think the other thing people are responding to.
But who in that audience is going like, oh, it's true, we do have John Voight.
I know.
And we got...
Look, you maybe not Voight on his own, Sam, but you add Voight and Kid Rock
and Nugent, the Holy Trinity.
The Nuge.
Yeah.
And like several disgraced
influencers.
comedians.
Right.
Influencers.
Right.
Pac-Man War says they changed voting, as in women can vote now.
Yes.
It's also a problem. All right, go back.
right? Because they changed it to ballots, because they changed it to, and by the way, we can do this as well. We don't have a Taylor Swift on our side, but you know who we have? We have Kid Rock, we have Ted Nugent, we have influencers, right? We have all these people, John Voight,
Chuck Woolery,
come out and use their audiences.
Chuck Woolery.
And I want an army of Scott Presslers at every Kid Rock event and every Ted Nugent event. And I hope, by the way, and I need to talk to those guys about this because I've got this idea that maybe we even ask them, you guys mind doing a little tour later this year? Are you doing anything this fall? And I don't know where, but maybe I could think of a couple of states like, I don't know, Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, to have them running around. Nevada, of course, Nevada, please.
Well, pause.
Yes,
I should tell you that the Brainiac here is in Nevada, which is going to be. But the idea of like, oh, geez, can you imagine like in the White House they're going like, Ted Nugent is doing a 6-state tour.
Oh shit! Tell Majority Report to run interference and attack it.
John Voight is opening for him, reading a poem. My God.
All of that drunk uncle energy together is going to rival the Taylor Swift effect.
What this is it is really like, it acts like it's a critique of celebrity or a critique of psyops or whatever, but really it is just a misanthropy. Like, everyone is so moronic that you can be pivoted in such a way. Like you said, like the idea that even if it was actual celebrities, even if like John Krasinski and the Killers were
Yeah.
like going to come out and endorse Trump. It's like, I don't know. Celebrity does have an effect, but I don't think it's
Well, it's
really
so
the thing to
cynical.
focus
I
on.
mean,
Besides, like it's good for getting attention in the attention economy.
They don't believe in democracy, really. Like, they don't believe in the democratic power of like people coming together and voicing their interests and what they believe like a society should be structured like in a way that's most equitable. They believe in herding people like cattle and sheep to vote for what they want. They don't. They have contempt for their voters. Republicans always have. They just, and so they're pasting that cynicism onto the Taylor Swift thing.
This is going to be the Eras Tour where it's John Voight starts because he's the oldest, then Ted Nugent, then
Oh,
Rock.
Kid
real
Rock
errors.
is even like
Real
Kid Rock
errors.
appealed to anybody.
No,
like, under
Kid
my
Rock,
age?
Kid Rock was old. Like I was young for Kid Rock. But also September 15th, 2020, Kid Rock opens Trump rally by saying fake media will say it didn't happen. And now people like Jack Posobiec acting like stuff like this never happened before.
Right, of course. I mean, Clint Eastwood. They used to, they would bring out, honestly,
Ronald Reagan.
Bo Derek,
Donald Trump.
Donald
himself.
Trump!
Charlton Heston.
Yes.
I mean, like, this is,
Scott Baio is another one for the crowd.
yeah, Bayo.
Right.
He was a teen heartthrob.
right.
War on
Cameron,
Santa.
another teen heartthrob who went right. That was the other guy. No one cares about that anymore.
He's, I'd still reel from the whole thing about, like, only God could have invented a banana.
That I don't remember
Kirk-
that.
The atheist's worst nightmare.
Yeah, Kirk is like one of the most like fanatical evangelists.
Didn't-
Oh, yeah, no, he's
Remember.
full on
Like, he's-
creationist.
Yeah. Yeah.